kids, welcome to Glen's Drum Emporium. We are about to change the skins on my recording studio drum set. This baby's right here, 1987 Yamahas that I have taken care of. There's like a couple of marks on them. These are basically a mint drum set except for a couple of marks. So we're changing just the toms. So these three, there's a 14-inch hanging floor right there, a 16-inch floor, and an 18 floor. We are going to white coated Remo ambassadors, and something this kid has never seen is white coated skins in anything except for the snare drum. So I'll get down on the floor here and take the skins off. Gonna have to vacuum after. So alright. Now Yamaha and Birch have 5 lug on the smaller drums. So I use this product, Meguiar's plastics, on the bearing edge sometimes. Sometimes I use ski wax, a bunch of different things. Anyways, take your screwdriver, just make sure none of the lugs have loosened off. You don't have to over crank them. But it's always best to see, because they do loosen off. There, that one was just a little bit. And depends on how often you change your skins, obviously. There's one that was a little loose. I'm doing the bottom ones right now. So for this, I'm just going to use a little bit of pledge first, just to get just a little dab of it, and just to get just a little bit on there, because this got an oil in it that helps wood, and then you just dry it off quick. It's just to give it a little bit of a saturation in there. And it makes it pretty slippery right away. By the time it dries, it'll be fine. So then I take a little bit of this and just to clean the drum a little bit. Just a little dab. Don't need much. Like that much. And just kind of dab it in into the cloth. You can't really see it. And just go on the outer edge. I'm going to leave the tom holders on. I just find it easier. And you know, just kind of wipe the drums down. A little goes a long way with this stuff. kind of try and aim up the drum heads the way I see them on the kit. So if it's sitting like that, I like that. I'm just kind of anal that way. And we'll give the rim a little bit of a cleaning. Just a little wipe. I just use Pledge on these. Sometimes I use auto salt if they're really bad, but it's not that bad half the time if you clean the kit a lot. I don't know if you can see that, but thing about a recording studio, I find you got to clean the studio a lot. There's so many electronics in it, and electronics definitely is an issue with static and dust. So there we go. That's pretty good. So I guess we'll alrighty. I always like to take a little bit of Vaseline, just a little bit, put it on the threads, just a little bit, not a lot. On old kits that have been sitting for a while, I'll definitely do all the threads. But on a kit that's basically like this, just sitting inside a dry area, you just need a little bit, just to make it easier on the threads going in. I'm doing cross. Even though it's 5, it's still a cross. And you move your way. That crackling is actually the glue and the bearing edges. We're trying to get it to seat. It's not the drum cracking, it's actually the skin itself, the glue, and the bending of the edge. You try and get the pitches across from each other somewhat the same. So I gotta go on the bottom. And sometimes I like to muffle the bottom head with a rag. You can hear it still cracking. It's still cracking. It's just the head seating on the bearing edges. You're not going to break the head by doing this. You're not going to hurt the drum. I'm going to go high and then bring it back down. I use the key to tap it. Just don't tap at the bearing edge. So it'll damage your bearing edge. So that's just a bit above. I can still hear it seating. That's a good starting point. My bottom is a little bit lower, but I've got this tighter and I'll bring it back down once it's on the kit, but having it a little tighter will stretch it. Okay, so that's one drum. We'll just slightly lay it there for a sec. We'll go into the 12. The kit is 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 22-inch bass drums. So normally I have this on a workbench, so my old legs don't like to be bent like this on the floor too often. So I might bring a drum stool over and do this. Actually, you know what I will do? I think I'll do it this way. I think we'll bring it up on the drum here. Bring this in. And get a drum stool, because my legs are killing me. Now these drum heads I've used on many recordings, so in the last little while. I've always used on this kit, except for when I first bought it, and it had different heads on it, but after that I've always used Remo Emperors. For all these years, I just want to change. All my other drum sets have different ones on. They don't all sound the same. So it's time to mix this up and give it a change of pace. I might go to clear ambassadors after this, which a lot of my favorite drummers are using now, and that's good. I don't mind going that way. I use clear ambassadors on a couple of my live kits, and they sound great. Alright, so now we're just going to check the tom holders. You don't crank on them. You don't have to. But just if something is loose, you just want to snug it up. That way it eliminates it if it's a rattle. So we'll do the Vaseline thing, just a little bit. No, it's not too bad. Again, small drum. You probably won't see any wrinkles. That cracking is just the bearing, or not the bearing edge, but the getting the skin to sit on the bearing edge. You have a straight up edge and then it's beveled, either 45, 30, 60, whatever the drum company has. I forget what these are. I think these are 45s. I'm just going to stand up and give it a little bit of... Now these are not going to ring as much as regular ambassadors. And they should ring about the same as an Emperor double ply. I would suspect maybe more. And we're just going to see what that sounds like compared to... Okay. I'm actually going to take this bottom head off of this one. I see some dust in there at the bearing edge that I don't like, which I never noticed before. So that's because of I have a heating vent right above the drum set, and this kit does get whatever dust is coming out of the heating vent flying towards the drum set. It isn't a lot, but sometimes you just don't know what's coming out of it. Even though you got a filter, it's still filter on the furnace, it still might have issues. But any piece of dust I find will find its way on the bearing edge. And I haven't changed the bottom heads on this in a while, because I used to change them once for every 3 changes to the top, but unfortunately the cost gets crazy, and I don't play this kit every day. I play another kit every day, and then on the band rehearsal side. I try and keep this one as fresh as I can for recording. Yeah, so we got a little bit of dust there, so I'm going to just get that off of there just in case. Just a little bit. And that still feels great. Bearing edges on these drums, fantastic. So I got that head off. I may as well clean it. And there we go. Same deal. So I've got the top head pitched a little bit higher than where I like the bottom. So I have a rough idea on where to go with the tuning, but just going to fine tune the stuff later on. I won't bother doing that on camera. That takes a long time, especially because I got to remix the channels for the drums on the soundboard also. Definitely too loose for my taste. So coming up a quarter of a turn each time. There we go. A little bit of a grab there. You can see it. And it just starts to come to life. Too tight. Just a little bit lower. So we're going to start with that, and see what happens. Alrighty. I'm actually going to do this on here. This is the 12-inch one. This particular drum is cut shorter than the others, or I should say it's cut the same depth as the 10-inch, which is great because then I don't have like a major power tom where the thing is digging into the top of the bass drum wood from being too tall and you're trying to get it lower. So what I had the option to get it like that. So it looks the same depth in front, and you might find that odd, but the benefits are way better.
fact, this other one again. A little bit higher. That's a good starting point. And say we fine tune after that. I'm just going to give that a little clean of my fingerprints, since I had to do that a few times. Alrighty, so that's the tree toms. So and get these ones. So I usually tune them sometimes in thirds, fourths, the two bigger floor toms in fourths or fifths. So anyways, going to mount these back up, and actually a little bit of a finger goo on there. Definitely I'll clean these after. There. So they are on, and we'll fine tune. I always put this one a little bit high. Bit out yet, but I like this one a little bit higher. Sometimes I have it as almost as a timbale kind of effect. So I shut the camera off and move to the other side of the kit.